Breathe slowly. What if I told you it isn't working more that changes your life, but a switch hidden inside your observer? Sounds provocative, I know. We were taught to confuse sweat with destiny. Only in the quantum field, the frequency you sustain matters more than the force you apply. Controversial? Maybe. Counterintuitive? Absolutely. But notice, when consciousness misaligns, energy runs the wrong way and abundance stays forever almost. Now, when alignment happens, within minutes, you create evidence of what seemed impossible yesterday. Look inward for a moment. How many times did you do everything right and still couldn't reach it? It wasn't lack of effort, it was lack of vibrational direction. The good news is quick. A fine tune in your felt identity, not in your calendar labels, makes reality obey. It's like turning the key in a dark house. Nothing changes outside, and suddenly you see everything. Here's the strong belief. You don't need to ask life for permission to prosper. You need to learn to speak life's language, the language of frequency. When your observer anchors, energy stops dripping and starts to flow, and the flow becomes evidence, replies, invitations, somatic calm. Quick reward? Yes. Today you'll test 3 micro-acts that flip this switch. Maybe they told you abundance is spiritual lottery. It isn't. It's vibrational routine. And routines are trained, with small, breathed steps anyone can repeat. With each coherent step, your identity rewrites itself. Your world follows. Curious to see how this adjustment works in silence and changes everything around you? The myth of endless effort. He knows people who pedal hard, and the bike doesn't move. It's like a loose chain, sweat, effort, noise, and no progress. Right there he sees. It's not strength that's missing. It's alignment. Without the inner switch, effort becomes a circle, not a straight line. When consciousness doesn't engage, energy disperses in the wind. He learned the hard way. Working more doesn't always vibrate abundance. Sometimes it only vibrates anxiety, a frequency of repackaged lack. In the quantum field, misaligned intention creates noise, not results. It's not do non-stop. It's do with presence that anchors. Without presence, the gesture loses identity and vanishes from the map. He recalls the day he hit play out of stubbornness, not purpose. Checked the list, posted, called, insisted, and nothing turned into concrete evidence. The inner observer still whispered, "It's hard, it's scarce." And the universe, obedient, echoed the same vibration. The body spoke. Tight shoulders, shallow breath, flow jammed. Then he tests another path. Short pause, breathe, observe. He swaps "I must prove" for "I'll reach it with lightness and method." The focus stops being the rock and becomes the step. Energy follows where the gaze rests, and he aims at what expands. Change the focus, the frequency changes. Change the frequency, the route changes. Simple example, 2 extra hours a day or 20 precise minutes. He chooses 20 minutes with consciousness, schedule, and real feedback. He defines minimal metrics that yield tangible evidence. 1 client, 1 sale, 1 chapter. Abundance begins in centimeters, not kilometers. With the observer awake, time stretches and the mind quiets. He notices a pattern. The more I run, the less I arrive. It's the loose chain bike, lots of noise, little road. He learns to engage before pedaling, intention, alignment, action. The quantum field responds to coherence, not to desperation, and coherence is action that matches belief, not fights it. Pocket practice, 3 micro-acts to flip the switch. First, 90 seconds of breathing to tune the frequency. Second, choose a single action that creates evidence today. Third, record the sensation of energy flowing to educate the body. Repeat for 7 days, and the brain learns. This creates results. He sees that useful effort is effort with identity. Who am I while I do it? Matters as much as what do I do. Abundance doesn't arrive out of pity, it arrives through felt coherence. When the observer holds steady, vibration guides the right move. And that's precisely when a new focus begins to multiply. The energy of what you focus on multiplies. He lived it firsthand. Focus on debt. And life returned more of the same frequency. He woke thinking of the bill, slept reviewing his balance. The inner observer only saw lack. The quantum field echoed scarcity. Result, opportunities walked by invisible, as if cloaked. Where consciousness parks energy builds a home. In a critical month, he spotted the loop, problem, rumination, body tension. Short breath, clenched jaw, budget even tighter. The vibration of fear pulls anchor thoughts. Can't, don't have, don't deserve. That combo creates evidence that life is a narrow funnel. But funnel or channel depends on the observer's angle. The adjustment starts small, almost shy. Record micro wins. A client message? Write it down. An unexpected discount? Note it. A practical idea to save without self-punishment? Log it too. This inventory retrains consciousness to read abundance in pixels. And pixels stacked daily become landscape. 7-day practice. The Flow Journal. Morning, 3 lines of specific gratitude, 0 generic fluff. Afternoon, 1 evidence of energy coming in, contact, insight, invitation. Night, 1 choice that preserved alignment, saying no counts. On day 7, compare your emotional frequency from day 1. He also builds a signal radar, symbols of abundance in everyday life, a free parking spot when he's in a hurry, a conversation that opens a partnership door, a bill that arrived lower than expected. Signals don't pay the bill, but they train the observer to unjam the channel. To keep the body from sabotaging, he adds a 3-minute somatic protocol. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6, repeat 5 times. Light pats on the chest saying, it's safe to receive energy. This anchors the felt identity before financial action. Without the body on board, the mind skids, with it action flows. Concrete strategy, the 1-1-1 expansion rule. 1 protective action, renegotiate, cut waste, alignment. 1 revenue action, simple offer, follow-up, objective proposal. Abundance. 1 cultivation action, study, networking, portfolio, long-term consciousness. 3 moves a day create stacked evidence. Over time, he sees the turn. Where he focuses, it expands. Where it expands, he reaches. Debt loses the stage. The frequency of possibility gains light. He doesn't deny the problem, he relocates the spotlight, because the quantum field amplifies what the observer sustains, and sustaining the process prepares the crossing to come next, the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. He's seen plenty of dream boards that look like magazines, only the after. House done, car polished, round number, and 0 mud from the road. The observer is dazzled, and the body grows suspicious. Without a middle map, the mind promises, consciousness won't sign. In the quantum field, steps are missing, frustration overflows. He flips the logic. Visualize the process too, not just the trophy. Feel the rain on your face, the end-of-day fatigue, the honest stumble. Hear your own breath finding rhythm after a mistake. Feel energy returning when he adjusts his step. That image gives the path an identity, not just the destination. Practical example. Want to publish a book? He sees himself writing on good and bad days, 45 minutes at a time. He imagines the warm mug, the tough paragraph, the one that flows. He sees the tedious edit and the relief of a clean page. That scene creates somatic evidence. I cross over. Another example, building extra income. He visualizes the first client saying maybe, the second no. He feels the vibration of a small yes on the 4th email. He sees himself learning pricing, contract, delivery with alignment. The mind learns that no belongs to the bridge, not the abyss. Simple tool, a 6-panel crossing storyboard. Panel 1, real starting point, no makeup. Panels 2 to 4, likely obstacles and trained micro-responses. Panel 5, a micro-result that proves abundance in miniature. Panel 6, next clear step, the step he can reach today. To ground it in the body, he practices embodied rehearsal twice a week. Eyes closed, slow walk, narrating the process in a low voice. It rained, I erred, I adjusted, I delivered, I received, slowly, feeling it. The observer guides, the body records the script of the possible. When the real scene arrives, the body already knows its marks. 3-minute bedtime bridge checklist. 1 minimal action done today, evidence, 1 obstacle met, learning. 1 frequency tweak for tomorrow, breath and intention. This trio keeps consciousness in process, not in fantasy. He smiles. The dream board is still on the wall, but now there's a road. Less glamour, more trail, mud, and steady steps. Energy stops oscillating, identity stops bluffing. In the quantum field, coherence attracts coherence. The bridge appears. And when the bridge materializes, a certain label starts gaining power. From label to reality, he learns early. The name you give yourself becomes North. Champion 2011 in a signature may look like vanity, but to the observer, it's identity in seed form. In the quantum field, a coherent word becomes instructive energy. A label isn't fantasy, it's alignment wrapped in sound. He remembers Jim Carrey and the check he wrote to himself. More than money, it was frequency and commitment. A self signing a future as if it were already evidence. The body reads it, the mind records it, consciousness begins to obey. Repeated labels are disguised identity switches. Simple experiment. Edit your bio, your email, your notes. Swap trying for in operation, amateur for professional in growth. Small words, big vibration. The tone shifts. The observer stops apologizing and starts presenting. Abundance recognizes those who recognize themselves. He writes a one-page identity contract. Title, Who I Am When No One Is Watching. 3 lines, competencies, values, contribution, clear, no smoke. He signs and dates it, reviews weekly, living evidence. The signature trains alignment among speaking, feeling, and doing. Voice ritual, each morning declarations with present breathing. No yelling at the ceiling, it's a chest-anchored whisper. I operate in a frequency of honor and service. My work moves energy and solves real pain. The body accepts when the phrase carries sensation, not anxiety. Practical example. A service provider renames their proposal. Instead of final quote v3.doc, they write, plan to reach X in 30 days. The client reads identity and path, not just price. The quantum field responds to clarity that takes form, and clear form becomes circulating evidence. To shield the word, he sets coherence criteria. He only declares what he's willing to prove within 72 hours. One minimal action to back the label, call, prototype, delivery. Thus the vibration of speech meets energy in deed. Label without backing is noise. With backing, it's a lighthouse. And when he stumbles, he doesn't tear the label up. He adjusts the metric. He refines the phrase, reduces the promise, expands the practice. He keeps the observer steady and alignment breathing. Because identity is a muscle, and muscles ask for repetition. Inside that body, another truth begins to pulse. Your body stores scarcity codes. He realized it wasn't just in his head, it was in his chest. When speaking about money, a tightness came, vibration of contraction. The observer thought it was just concern, but the body shouted danger. In the logic of the quantum field, the body is an energy antenna. If the antenna is bent, abundance arrives with static. Mapping sensations became archaeology work. Where does it tighten? When does it speed up? What triggers cold sweat? This somatic consciousness reveals old beliefs without drama. Each symptom is evidence of invisible scripts running in the background. He learns to read his body like he once read his credit card bill. Quick practice. 5 breaths that open space. Inhale through the nose, 4, hold 2, exhale slowly through the mouth, 6. On the exhale, he thinks release and feels his chest expand 1%. That 1% changes the frequency of the request that was stuck. The observer doesn't ask from despair, he asks from alignment. He tests a tough meeting with the body on his side. Before stating price, he drops shoulders, plants feet, relaxes jaw, repeating, "It's safe to receive energy for what I deliver." The tone changes. Identity speaks without apologizing, and the other side, curiously, responds with more openness. 7-day exercise, prosperous body inventory. With each transaction, he notes contraction or expansion. He logs the trigger, the spot in the body, and what helped release it. In the end, he sees patterns, times, people, words that set off alarms. With this evidence, he redraws routes and primes the system to reach. He notices many no's came from his nervous system itself. Fight, flight, or freeze jammed the abundance channel. To retrain, he uses micro-discharges, shake hands, yawn, lengthen spine. 60 seconds, 3 times a day. Tiny resets that tune the receiving frequency. When the bill anxiety barks, he visits hardship memories for 90 seconds only. He looks, names, breathes, then swaps the scene for a micro-victory. I sent the proposal, I closed it, I delivered, I received, in slow motion. This swap teaches the body to prefer energy of solution. Solution repeated becomes identity of a problem solver. He gets it. Without the body, the mind promises and doesn't deliver. With the body, promise and step move in the same cadence. The observer stabilizes. Alignment becomes tangible. With the ground regulated, the right rituals work simple miracles. That's where 3 daily mini-switches come in to realign everything. Realignment rituals. He discovers small rites flip the switch without drama. 3 simple daily gestures swap the day's frequency. When consciousness practices, the body learns the route, and energy starts flowing with less friction. Rituals are bridges between intention and evidence. First mini-rite, conscious circulation. He gives something useful without fear, time, know-how, a contact. Abundance isn't stored stock, it's a river in vibration. 1 weekly gift becomes alignment training. Those who circulate, see it circulate back. Practical example for today, offer tangible help. Review a friend's portfolio, refer a client, open a door. Small seeds irrigate the quantum field. The observer witnesses return and creates evidence. Soft heart, light hand, energy in motion. Second mini-rite, affirmations with real feeling. No repeating into the void. He feels before he speaks. He breathes, grounds, places a hand on his chest. He declares, "Operating in abundance is safe for me." The phrase gains body, shifts frequency and identity. 2-minute script, morning and night. 3 short sentences coherent with the day's action. I deliver concrete value. I receive energy with honor. I keep deadlines. The tone is calm, almost a whisper. Presence first. In the quantum field, spoken coherence becomes lived evidence. Third mini-rite, the abundance envelope. He sets aside 10% and writes, "I have more than I need." It's not superstition, it's visible financial alignment. The gesture trains the observer to see surplus, not lack, and the vibration of surplus opens new doors. Pain-free rollout. Start with 1% for 21 days, then 3%, 5%, until you reach 10% with ease. Use a physical envelope or a named account. Energy reserve. Each deposit is a conscious micro-celebration. Each micro-celebration records a prosperous identity. To integrate, he uses a weekly checkboard. Monenthu practical conscious circulation. Daily 2 minutes of felt affirmations. Fry, envelope deposit and evidence review. With these 3 switches, the road clears and the next story knocks. Caleb's story, identity and loyalty to the past. Caleb worked like few do. Early rises, delivery, repeat. Deep down, he believed pain was a seal of value. His observer confused struggle with merit and called it character. In the quantum field, that frequency kept doors half open, lots of energy spent, little abundance coming in. He came from a family that revered sacrifice, inherited lines. Money only comes through suffering. Joy distracts focus. Those labels became a silent identity. Consciousness operated in battle mode, never in alignment. Result? Evidence of fatigue, not expansion. One day, Caleb spotted a simple pattern. When he was well paid for something light, he felt guilt in his gut. The guilt dropped his vibration, and he sabotaged the next delivery. His observer needed pain to validate gain. It was loyalty to the past, disguised as ethics. Practical mentorship. He created a peace cost metric. Beyond price, he measured impact, joy, and free time. If a project drained energy, he adjusted scope or said no. Little by little, he trained alignment without apologizing, and the body began to accept abundance without pain. 10-day exercise, break the scarcity vow. Each morning he declared, "I can reach well without destroying myself." Then he took one pleasurable minimal action that creates evidence. Charge clearly, simplify a process, protect creative time. The quantum field responds when words meet practice. To challenge old loyalty, Caleb chose micro-betrayals of suffering. He delivered a service in 3 steps instead of 11. He stopped decorating effort. He measured concrete results. The frequency shifted, less epic, more effective, and effectiveness in peace became his new identity. He also rewrote his origin story. He honored his parents without copying their script. I recognize the struggle that brought me here, and I choose alignment to carry it forward. With that, energy stopped leaking into guilt. When Caleb received easy payment, he breathed and held the space. He felt his chest open 1%, stored it as somatic evidence. "It's safe to prosper with lightness," he repeated, slowly. The observer began enjoying the new normal. From that point, a deeper truth about deserving came into view. You don't attract what you want, but what you believe you deserve. He found that wanting high isn't enough if identity whispers low. On his lips, "I want to prosper." In his chest, "I'm not worthy." The quantum field answers the dominant frequency, not the timid desire. The ruling consciousness is the one living in the body, not just the idea. And the body delivers evidence of what he believes he deserves. Classic sign: praise arrives and he undercuts it with a joke. A discount appears and he explains it was luck. That shrinking vibration cuts abundance's thread. The observer must hold the good without apologizing. Deserving is alignment between what's received and what's felt. Practical exercise. 3 sustained yeses per day. When help comes, he breathes and says, "Thank you," in a full voice. When an invitation appears, he accepts if it fits the new identity. When gain arrives, he records it as legitimate evidence. 3 yeses teach the body to reach without guilt. Funny how the wallet reveals beliefs. Does he tremble when pricing? Apologize when charging? That energy exposes an internal ceiling of deserving. To recalibrate, he sets a clear price and offers concrete value. The quantum field honors clarity. It ignores fog. 5-minute tool, the dignity mirror. Hand on chest, soft gaze, 4-2-6 breathing. Short sentences with truthful frequency, not shouting, "I deliver what I promise," "It's safe to receive," "I honor my work." The body logs this consciousness as baseline. He creates micro-proof of deserving more. He delivers early, improves a process by 1%, cares for after-sale. Each act records evidence of value without drama. Abundance favors those who care for what arrives. Those who care expand. Those who hide contract energy. To diffuse the not enough story, he collects testimonials. 3 feedbacks printed in his notebook. Read in a low voice. Not vanity. Alignment with facts the ego distorts. The observer anchors in the real, not in chronic self-critique. And the real shifts the vibration of deserving. In time, he sees asking for less was a habit, not a virtue. He trades defensive modesty for calm presence. His identity grows where consciousness sustains value. Then something changes. He stops begging and starts radiating. Here, the final switch appears, flipping the whole system's position. The final adjustment, from beggar to source. He hears the line and something clicks. "You weren't made to beg for abundance, you are the current itself." The observer flips the switch from waiting to emanating. Consciousness assumes authorship. Energy stops asking permission. In the quantum field, radiators change the room's frequency. Being a source isn't arrogance, it's alignment with service. He stops hunting for validation and starts delivering value calmly. He defines a real pain, builds a simple solution, offers it with presence. Evidence shows up, replies, invitations, recurrence. The vibration of "I have to give" replaces "will it come?" Source mode protocol in 4 steps, daily 12 minutes. 1. 4-2-6 breathing, hand on chest, stabilize identity. 2. Short question, what's the smallest act of service today? 3. Concrete delivery, message, sample, mini tutorial, to one real person. 4. Log it, record the evidence of flow that returned. With money, he swaps pleading for clarity. Price spoken standing tall, modest promise, tight scope. That clean frequency breeds quiet confidence. The observer holds value without dramatizing the ask, and financial energy responds like a river recognizing its bed. He installs channels of circulation, useful newsletter, live calendar, partnerships. He doesn't wait to go viral. He builds habits of concrete offering. Each cycle completes the abundance circuit. Give, receive. In the body, this becomes somatic evidence of safety. Safety shifts vibration. Vibration widens reach. One Source Week example. Monday, list 5 specific audience pains. Wednesday, publish 1 applicable solution, 1-page checklist. Friday, do 3 gentle follow-ups. Ask for feedback, not favors. Sunday, review metrics and adjust alignment for clearer reach. When old anxiety returns, he comes back to center. I operate as a channel, not a beggar. He breathes, drops shoulders, speaks little, delivers what was promised. The quantum field doesn't bargain with haste. It answers coherence. And coherence is the secret signature of a prosperous identity. Finally, he feels the inner click. There's no outside to conquer without an inside lit. With the switch set to source, the world stops being rationed. Consciousness rests, energy circulates, abundance presents itself. And with that done, a final opening must be offered, and for those arriving now. Turn on and sustain the switch. Breathe, feel the body. Now you know where the switch is. It isn't an amulet, it's consciousness in action, alignment practiced. When the observer steadies, energy flows, and abundance has a way through. Today, choose 3 simple steps. 1 gesture of circulation, give something useful. 1 micro-action that creates concrete evidence. 3 felt sentences to tune your frequency. Small? Yes. And precisely because of that, repeatable. Ask yourself gently, in which area does your identity still whisper, I don't deserve? Which routine vibrates scarcity in your body? And what micro-act swaps the vibration? What can you reach in the next 24 hours that proves, in practice, your new script? If fear appears, return to the body. 4-2-6 breathing, feet on the ground, relaxed shoulders. Then speak little and do what was agreed. The quantum field respects silent coherence more than loud promises. You may notice doors opening where walls used to be, not a sudden miracle, persistent alignment. Your world mirrors what you sustain inside. Sustain the frequency. Reality organizes the rest. Now a direct invite. Write in the comments, which switch will you flip today? Which micro-evidence will you commit to recording by tomorrow? Your answer might unlock someone else's path later, perhaps your own. If this helped clear your way, stay close. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and walk with us step by step. Every week, a fine tune of consciousness, energy, and abundance. No rush, no drama, with depth.